All right, Owen, we'll go ahead and start with you. Go ahead, Owen.
Hey, buddy, can you give us an update on the couple of Tapia and Gray, how they're doing?
Excuse me, Owen. Yes. They're both doing fine overall. Tapia suffered a little bit of a whiplash when he was coming down. He was sore in the neck, a little bit dazed, but he should be fine. Jon started cramping, his last at bat, in between innings, lower extremities, mainly his right leg, and it sort of went to his left leg, and then just, he was cramping bad. Sort of felt that the last at bat to Lux in the fifth, and then sort of progressed during the half inning, and I believe he hit, and then wasn't good. Tried to get some electrolytes in him quickly, see if that would help alleviate the soreness. Went out, faced Seager, threw the 3 pitches. The first 2 pitches didn't look great. He was trying to fight through it. Then, when I went out to the mound, he just said that, he was feeling it right then and there, all through his lower half.
So it sounds like
he'll be fine overall.
And it sounds like you knew about it before he went out to pitch again. He told you about it.
Yeah, and we worked on him. We worked on him in between innings.
Okay.
And thought maybe it would resolve itself after some electrolytes and some liquids. But
can you talk about his performance up until then? It seemed pretty strong.
I thought it was brilliant. The ball great. It was a great pitcher's duel. We got to Bueller for a couple runs. Jon really made some quality pitches throughout the night. I thought his fastball command was outstanding. Really, really liked the use of the changeup tonight from Jon. Had his usual good slider to both lefties and righties, mixed in a couple of curveballs. The 4-pitch mix was, probably as good as I've seen Jon use 4 pitches. I think we've seen it before with the fastball slider combo, but tonight it was a mix of all 4. He got a number of outs with the changeup to a couple of their big left-hand hitters. So really proud of Jon, this first outing of the year. Threw the ball great.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Danielle, go ahead.
Evaluated for concussion at all? I know you said he suffered a little bit of whiplash.
No, I think the medical team thinks that not a concussion, just more of a whiplash. And so,
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thomas Harding.
Yes, buddy, the way that Jon threw this spring, he came in with a lot of enthusiasm and confidence. Do you feel like this was a carryover, that after you saw what you saw in Scottsdale, the first 5 innings were kind of what you expected from him?
Well, in Scottsdale, we saw that his stuff was really solid. I mean, the spring training results, can be deceiving, both good or bad, depending on how you view it. If you're just a stat reader, but to the critical eye, evaluating Jon, we thought his stuff was solid. The arm speed was there. His delivery was in order. Everything was lining up as we went through spring training. He felt good about where he was, physically with his stuff. So, I mean, for me, it was a carryover to, how the ball was coming out of his hand most of spring training.
The cramping, we saw that from Herman a couple years ago, I believe. Is that something that's a concern, whether it's hot in the summer or kind of cool right now here in Denver, just coming to Denver? Is that a concern you guys have, the cramping situations?
The cramping situation?
Yes.
I think we're always concerned about the well-being of our players. Our medical staff and our strength guys talk about that all the time, coming into altitude. We really stress hydration, the right types of food, all those things that we have the resources for, and the athlete education. Just one of those nights tonight that got to Jon.
Hey, it's kind of a strange series for Tapia. He loses the ball into the stands, hitting the wall. It's not a home run. And then tonight he saves one, but you know, it ends up a home run. I mean, just one of those odd series for you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of weird things have happened so far this series. They've been really good games, right? I mean, they've been very exciting for the fans. High stress points, you know, throughout these 3 games. It's been a good series so far. But, you know, Tap's been involved in a couple of oddities. So you come to a baseball game, you never know what you're going to see. And I think, you know, these 3 games sort of speak to that.
Hey, final question from me. Fuentes going opposite way on the home run. You've seen a lot of good things out of him throughout the spring. Did you see that type of power, though, from him?
Well, he scored that one up. You know, I think Josh's primary power is to the pull side. But again, that was, you know, a pitcher who throws the ball in the upper 90. If you square the ball up against those types of guys, they supply the power. But if you barrel it and square it up with the right loft, it has a chance to go out. And I think that was the result of Josh's swing.
Okay, hey, listen, thank you very much.
Okay.
Ed Henderson, go ahead.
Hey, buddy, looked tonight like there was a maturity and a confidence with Jon that we haven't seen on too many starts. And that was certainly good to see tonight. But I wanted to talk, buddy, a little bit about the bullpen, giving up 8 hits tonight. Your thoughts, any concerns? Was it just mislocation, or are you seeing something else there that you have some issues with at this point?
Well, you know, if you look at each guy, you know, we could go individually. I thought Barr did a nice job, you know, leadoff double by Muncy, but held the fort with a couple of good strikeouts and a grounder. You know, he did his job, put a 0 up there. Gibbons got the first 2 guys out. You know, then the Tapia play. You know, the inside the park home run. You know, they nicked him for another run. You know, Kinley was a little bit erratic. You know, they scratched him for a run. Almonte, I thought actually threw the ball pretty well. He was a victim of a little squibber by Muncy that, you know, Josh had a hard time handling because of the spin, and then Barnes, it looked like, I got to look at the replay, whether that was a backup slider with 2 strikes, and Barnes, you know, sort of looped it in, you know, for that 2-run base hit. So again, probably, you know, on balance, probably not as efficient with, you know, balls in the strike zone out of the guys tonight, or even maybe the series. I mean, there's been a couple of bright spots, but, you know, tonight, you know, we got to get the ball in the zone earlier in the count. The Dodgers do a good job of working at bats and fouling pitches off when they get to 2 strikes. So that's a little bit of function of their club. But, you know, I'm not worried, but, you know, our guys have been around long enough, with the exception of a couple of guys in our pen, to know that, you know, early count strikes late in the game is usually the best formula.
Thanks, buddy.
Larry Patrick, go ahead.
Yes, Bud. If it hadn't been for the injury to Kyle Freeland, Gomber probably would have been, you know, pitching a little bit later. What kind of stress do you see maybe being on him coming over on the Arenado trade? Do you think that, you know, it's going to add a little more pressure to him coming out here in the opening series?
I don't think so, Larry. I think Austin has a pretty nice self-assurance to himself. That's what I've gathered from getting to know him the 6 weeks in Arizona. I think he's confident in his stuff. I think he's confident in how he goes about his business to get his outs. You know, he's pretty loose. I think that, you know, I think he's excited for the opportunity to be in a bigger league rotation, to be a Colorado Rocky and have his career move forward with us. I don't sense that, you know, the pressure that you're talking about as it relates to him. He's a pretty loose cat, and he's, you know, he's vibrant. You'll see it tomorrow. He pitches with an up-tempo, aggressive style. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully he pitches well and then holds down the Dodgers if we get to Urias. But I haven't sensed 1 ounce of any added pressure from Austin.
Okay. Also, anything that can be taught, you can go for years and not have 2 plays like Tapia had to go through. Is there anything defensively he can learn on plays like that as far as holding on to the ball? Because I know there's a lot of, you get hit and it jars the ball. Anything can be done?
Yeah, this is one of the toughest outfields to play in all of baseball because of the spaciousness. The wall's at a certain height where, you can leap and you're airborne, and the ball, usually a lot of home runs are traveling with a little bit of velocity. And, at times when you're out, when you're outreached and your gloves extended, and it's happening in real time, and you bang the wall. I mean, your arm is going to move, your glove is going to rattle a little bit. It's hard. I mean, it really is. You're going back, you're running backwards. You're not usually there at the wall and jumping up. I don't know if there's anything you can learn except, continue to play aggressive like he has been going after those balls. There'll be a lot of outfielders who just might turn around and watch the outcome, whether it bounces off the wall or goes over the fence. But, I like the way that he, sort of goes after those balls and tries to make plays.
Okay. Thank you, Bud.
Kevin Henry, go ahead and wrap us up.
Buddy, just a quick question to follow up on something that Ed asked. With both Yancey and Givens, both had some issues with 2 outs tonight. Senza had a little problem with that yesterday. Is that anything that you're seeing as an early concern?
No, I mean, you don't like to see it. You like these guys to put away innings. They're trying to do it, Kevin. They're not trying to extend innings for sure. You got to make pitches throughout the inning. So, I don't think, anything this early in the season can be gleaned from that. But, if you talk to those fellows, they'll tell you that they're not, they're not letting up. They're not trying to, have a 2-out walk or fall behind to give up a base hit or, throw a ball down the middle. They're trying to make pitches. It just hasn't happened. But, we'll continue to watch that for sure, just like you guys are. We'll monitor that. And, we talk about these things, obviously, as the season unwinds, if we see patterns and trends.
Thanks, buddy.